Antiochus becomes an illustration of what the final Antichrist will do. And so we know Daniel 9:27 is referring to the future. Go back to Luke 21, because that's what Jesus refers it to. Jesus is interpreting Daniel. And when our Lord says, as he does, in Matthew 24, this is that which was written by Daniel the prophet concerning the abomination of desolation, we know it's connected to the time of his return. It's connected in Luke 21 to when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then recognize that the desolation is at hand. It's that same desolation. So the Lord sees this as an eschatological event. Yes, Jerusalem has been surrounded by armies throughout its history. There have even been a couple of times through history when the temple has been desecrated, of course, and abominated, the place where God is supposed to be worshiped there. There's that most notable time laid out in Daniel 11 and fulfilled in history by Antiochus, where a kind of abomination of desolation happened, and he did things that were absolutely atrocious. The story of what he did, beyond what I told you, is that he slaughtered a pig on the altar and stuffed pork down the mouths of the priests as a way to desecrate the place and desecrate them as well. And so the picture of what he did is only a preview of what that final Antichrist will do. And if you ask just exactly what will the final Antichrist do, Revelation 13 says, here's his abomination. In his vision was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast. He sets up his image in the temple in the holy place, his idol. There was power given to him that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Revelation 13:15. So he doesn't set up an altar of Zeus, he sets up an idol of himself. Paul describes it in 2 Thessalonians 2, 3, and 4 with these words. The Apostle Paul says this, the man of sin, when he's revealed, that's the Antichrist, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God or that is worshiped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That's the final abomination. That's what Antiochus did in a preview of the final abomination. So let the reader understand. When you see in human history a world leader at the end of the age who makes a pact of protection with Israel to protect them, and in the middle of that period of protection, while judgments are beginning to move that are unlike anything in the history of the world, and you see the armies of the world surrounding Jerusalem to put an end to Israel, and you see this Antichrist going into the holy place, putting up an idol of himself to establish one world religion, calling the whole world to worship him, you know that the coming of Christ is near. Is near. He will turn against Israel, whom he has feigned to protect. He will call the armies of the world to come, and they will amass in Israel from the city of Jerusalem clear north to the plain of Megiddo. All these forces set against God and against Israel, and he will then desecrate the holy place. And this will trigger the return and the judgment of Christ, who will destroy all the armies of the world, all the ungodly and unrighteous, and establish his kingdom. Now, back to our text of Luke 21 quickly.